Hi guys, and welcome to Car Focus. You may probably notice that I'm not in the RS, and you've probably already guessed by the title of the video anyway that I'm actually in a Mustang GT. Yes, I'm in a Mustang GT in England. Now, I say in England because I've driven a Mustang before, but only in America when I've actually used one as a hire car, and that was just the 2014 V6 version. So I've always been really keen to want to drive the 5 litre V8 GT right-hand drive in England. Now, thanks to TC Harrison Ford, who are the dealership or franchise that I always go through when I buy Fords, they have kindly hooked me up with this Mustang for a couple of days just to have a drive, compare it to the RS, and to kind of share my thoughts and just go through a kind of a review with the car with you guys. So, first impressions of this car. Now, this car for me is kind of like a hero car for me. Mustang GT, it's the most powerful car I've ever driven. It's got the largest engine in a car that I've ever driven. It's kind of almost like a bit of a dream come true, really, to be driving this. I never thought I'd be in this position to be able to drive one. So anyway, the Mustang. This is pretty much the fastest, most prestige kind of performance Ford money can buy, other than the GT. Now the GT is obviously very, very exclusive, very expensive, and let's face it, the average Joe like you and I, we're not going to be able to buy one or even drive one, for that matter. Whereas this is actually a tangible performance muscle car that the working class man or woman can actually get behind the wheel and have a drive. Now, you can always inquire at your local Ford dealership and see if they have any demonstrators available and get yourself booked in for a test drive. So anyway, yeah, it's really good to be behind the wheel of one of these. First impressions of the car, the first thing I noticed when I got in was the size of the bonnet. The bonnet is absolutely huge. Compared to the RS, you can't even really see the bonnet when you're driving that. This thing, it's like you've got about 6-7 feet of metal just sticking out in front of you, and it just reminds you how big the car is that you're actually driving. You look in the wing mirrors, you're just greeted by some fat rear arches, which is awesome. They just stick out, make the car have a really sort of wide, aggressive stance on the road. Gives it a lot of road presence as well. So yeah, that was the first thing I noticed when I got in the car. And then when I started the engine, the sound of the V8, it sounds amazing. It sounds really smooth, really sort of deep. Just your typical V8 rumble. And if you sit stationary in this car and you rev the accelerator, the car actually shakes side to side, from side to side, because obviously you've got this huge V8 under the bonnet. So yeah, they're the first things I noticed. Inside of the car, interior wise, it's well built. It's a nice place to be. A bit like the RS, your touch points are very nice. However, I think a bit more effort has kind of gone into the quality of the materials inside this car. You've got these lovely leather seats here, which are really nice and sort of plush and soft. Just a really comfortable place to sit. The headrest is really nice as well, nice and soft headrest. And they're also heated and air cooled. So today it is about 28 degrees, which is really hot for England. So I've got the air cooled seats on, and it just blows air conditioned air out of the little holes in the seats and just keeps your backside really nice and cool. So yeah, it's really nice. And you've got some kind of brushed aluminium material along the front here. You've got some chrome strips where the door handles are, just chrome strips around the speakers. You've got a nice infotainment layout here. You've got the Sync 3 with Apple CarPlay, and then down here we've got these really cool little kind of switch buttons, almost a bit like from an aircraft. So you've got your drive modes, you've got your steering wheel your steering modes, traction control off, and then your hazard lights. This model has got the Shaker Pro system, which sounds really good. It sounds better than the RS, actually. It sounds better than the sound system I've got on the RS. Everything inside the car is really nice. It's a really pleasant place to be. The dashboard has got this kind of like faux leather with this stitching, and then you've got the Mustang emblem on the front there, which is a nice touch, just to remind you of the heritage since 1964. The good old Mustang. In the back we've got, it's a two-seater in the back. You've got some nice bucket seats in the back there. Again, the same soft leather, really comfortable feeling. Not much leg room, to be fair, but at the end of the day, this is kind of a sports car, isn't it? It's not really the kind of car that you're going to be taking passengers around in. Maybe if you had the convertible version, you know, and you took a few friends out on a summer's drive, I'm sure you could squeeze them in there and it wouldn't be too unbearable. But no, inside is a nice place to be. So here we are, guys. Behind me is the GT. I'm sorry it's so bright out here, I should have worn my sunglasses. But yeah, so here it is, beautiful in the grabber blue. We'll go and have a little a look around the car. So starting at the front of the car, we've got the racing stripes on this, which obviously on a Mustang are allowed. We've got the signature pony on the front, a nice honeycomb grille, very aggressive looking from the front there. We've got this nice splitter across the front here, looks really nice. Fog lights, and then you've got these really, I love the aggressive looking headlights on these. The aggressive xenons with your LED strips there. 416 PS, 530 Newton meters of torque. And to harness all that power, to obviously stop you, you've got these huge Brembo 6-piston calipers with massive discs there. We've got Pirelli P0 tyres, 255/40 ZR19s on the front, and then on the back we've got a wider wheel and tyre at the back. We've got 275/40 R19s, again Pirelli P0s. So moving around to the back, you've got the nice LED tail lamps here, and obviously the signature GT badge, which is another difference from the EcoBoost version. I believe on the EcoBoost version you just get the pony on the back. We've got our rear view camera, reverse camera, just there. Got rear fog light, just at the back there. You've got your diffuser with your twin tailpipes. That's where all the noise comes from. And here are the wide wheel arches that I was talking about. So you can just see the lines. You can just see how big these arches are. It's a shame the RS never came with the wider arches, but it's all good. So yeah, absolute animal. I knew it'd be dangerous driving one of these because I think after having this for 2 days I'm probably going to want one. And here's the powerhouse. Huge 5 litre. As I say, 416 PS, 530 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. Powered by Ford. So moving on to boot space. It's a fair sized boot. I'd say you could probably get a couple of suitcases in there, but you can increase the boot space. If you lift the floor up, you've got this here. Now you could actually remove that. You could unscrew that and just relocate that tyre pressure kit somewhere else, and then you've got extra space in the bottom there. You could get well, a good few Tesco shopping bags in there. So we're inside the car now, as you can see. A nice Mustang steering wheel with your instrument cluster there. I really like these dials because with the rev counter there, you've got revolutions per minute written at the top, which I think is just a nice little feature. And then on the speedo, it just says ground speed, which I think is pretty cool. So here's the trip computer, and I found a few little bits and bobs. A few little cool things. So you've got the engine info there. It's got your temperatures, your tyre pressures, oil pressure, oil temperature, battery voltage, vacuum, distance to empty, all of this cool stuff. And then you've got track apps. If you go in here, you've got an accelerator timer, so you can do 0 to 60, 0 to 100, quarter of a mile, 0 to 30, etc, etc. Brake performance, so 60 to 0, 100 to 0. Line lock, which obviously we're not going to be using. Lap timer, launch control, works similar way to the RS, so limit C revs. Quickly go back to line lock. That basically, I think it locks C front wheels, so puts the brakes on the front wheels and allows you to basically do a burnout on the spot. But obviously it's track only, we're not going to be doing that today. If I owned the car and I found a sort of private road or something like that, I'd be able to demonstrate it, but not under these circumstances. So yeah, that's just pretty cool. You can clear all your results there, or view your results, see if anybody's set any times. Nope. So yeah, just a cool feature I thought I'd share. Excuse the sun on the screen there. And then just go back to your trip computer. So how does this car drive? Now, the first kind of thing I noticed when I started driving this car was how smooth it is. The engine's really smooth, it revs really freely, it just sounds really nice. It's also very comfortable. These seats in particular are very comfortable. The ride isn't very crashy. It's very, again, it takes the bumps with ease. Nowhere near as firm as the RS. And the only downside to that, I suppose, is when you get into the bends, the car doesn't handle. It doesn't handle anywhere near as well as the RS on the bends, basically. Not that I've really tried. I haven't pushed this car very hard, but you can just feel as you turn in, slight bit of body roll, just feels a little bit softer, not quite as planted. And I think it'd take a while for me to get used to, obviously, the power of this car, because there's a lot of power going to the rear wheels, and I can imagine that the back end can be quite tail happy if you apply too much power. So I think it'll take a bit of getting used to, just to balance up the kind of softer steering with the extra power that you've got. But it's just it's an effortless drive. There isn't quite as much low down torque as the RS, so if you're at lower revs, obviously when you accelerate it takes a bit of time to kind of pick up, but that's always the way with a naturally aspirated engine. But if you get the right kind of rev range, so probably around 4,000. 4,000 is where you start to get the bulk of the torque, where it really starts to pull you along. So if you keep the rev range within 4,000 onwards, you're always in that power band. And it does rev up to near 7,000 revs, I think. But I would say, although it doesn't have the initial urgency of the RS, I think at higher revs it's a quicker car. I think when pushing on in a straight line, this car is quicker. But you wouldn't think you were driving an 1,800 kilogram car. It does feel a bit lighter than what it actually is. The steering's quite nice, it's quite direct. Once again, I say you get a bit of body roll on the turn in, so it doesn't feel pin sharp, but it does feel nice. It does take corners very well for the size of this car though. And as I say, you do forget you're driving an 1,800 kilogram car, which is quite heavy. But it is a lovely drive, and the sound of the V8, it's just mesmerising, the sound of the V8. You get a lovely growl in the cabin from the induction, if you can hear that. It just sounds beautiful. It does sound absolutely amazing. Obviously with the RS you've got the kind of synthesised induction sound coming in. This my god, it makes me giggle like a child. I am in love with this car though. I am in love with this car. I mean, I am more I'm the type of person that prefers a small fun car on a twisty road. You know, you can chuck into the bends. This is a different kind of kettle of fish, this car. This is, you know, it's a GT car, it's a cruiser, it's a powerhouse. Be much better for long journeys, particularly trips across Europe, that kind of thing. But it is just so powerful. And it's addictive. It's addictive in the way that the RS is with your pops and bangs. This is addictive with the growl of the engine from the front. So the RS is addictive at the back with the noise, and this is addictive from the front with the noise. And I'd imagine that if you put an upgraded exhaust system on this car, it would sound fantastic. Now, I've been driving this car in Sport Plus mode. I think it's similar to the RS in the fact that it kind of it makes the steering that little bit heavier, increases throttle response. It's definitely sharper on and off the throttle. You've kind of got that immediate sort of response when you put your foot on the accelerator compared to with normal, where it feels a little bit more reserved. But no, I've been running it in Sport Plus, which has been the best kind of drive I've found. Lovely 6-speed gearbox. When you change gear, you get like a punch back in the seat as soon as you change gear. So if you go from 3rd to 4th, for example, as soon as you get into 4th and come off the clutch, you get a nice little punch, and the car just immediately goes. 2nd gear, just keeps going. Solid. Very impressive. It's a lovely gate. The gear sticks nice and sort of mechanical. You get a little bit of a clunk when you go into the next gear. It sort of slots in, which is nice. It doesn't feel sloppy at all. Very solid. And the gear knob itself is comfortable. It's a bit like a little golf ball, really, like a little circle. Oh God, I love it. I love it. It's amazing. I think my ideal garage now would be the RS and this. 2 brilliant cars side by side, I think. But out of this car and the RS, if you were debating which one to get, it's very difficult to choose. Now, I think you need to really evaluate what you want out of the car. If you want a kind of a little terrier, handles well, sounds good, looks pretty aggressive, you can chuck it around, it's quick, tunable, and I think you need to go with the RS. If you want, I mean, RS has heritage as well, but if you want Mustang heritage, better road presence, a bit more of a wow factor, the V8, you know, the growl of the V8, but be compromised in the handling department and have to pay slightly more, but have more of a special package, then you need to go for the Mustang. I probably haven't made that very helpful for somebody to choose, but it's very difficult, it really is. I just think the RS for me is a bit better suited to me, and I love this car, I love this Mustang, I really do. If somebody said there's an RS, there's a Mustang, here are the keys, pick which one, you get to keep it for a year, it would be a struggle. It'd be a struggle. But I think the RS might just do it. Yeah. But no, this Mustang is not disappointing. Oh God, I never get bored of it. I never get bored of it. Absolute animal. Bags of power. Bags of power. Multi-story time, which means one thing, windows down. Oh, she sounds so good. let's see how well this thing fits into a parking space. Plenty of room, both sides. Parking's not a problem. So, the Mustang. I've had a day with this car, a very hot, sweaty day with this car, but to be honest, it's been perfect weather. But I apologise if I'm looking a bit sweaty now because it is roasting. Yes, I've had a whole day with this car. I've been driving it for, well, since I picked it up 9 o'clock this morning. It's now 5:30, so I had a bit of lunch in between, but pretty much all day. I picked my wife up from work at lunchtime. She absolutely loves the car. I think she wants one now, to be honest, and she's even said that I should have got one of these instead of the RS. I went into this video thinking, oh yeah, I'll compare the RS to the Mustang, but they're completely different cars, two different leagues, and I don't think it's fair to kind of put them against each other. How I do love this car though, it has been amazing today. And if I had extra cash and could afford this alongside the RS, I'd do it without a doubt. But yeah, I've absolutely loved it. One of the highlights for me has been the V8. The sound of the engine is just addictive. Now I know I get the pops and the crackles in the RS, and you don't get that with this, but this is like a natural kind of proper manly grumble, and the way it delivers the power as well is just, it's awesome. It doesn't feel unstable. I've not had the back end sort of twitch out on me or anything like that. I think maybe if I provoked it a bit and sort of gave it a bit of a flicking with the steering, then maybe it would, but it's been pretty settled when I've been accelerating in the car. And I've been surprised how it has cornered, how well it has gone around corners for its sheer size. And you could take it out on a Sunday and you could hit the back roads and you could still have fun in it. I think this car, it's just a cruising car to sort of show off, have a bit of comfort, and also have some pretty awesome styling. I mean, I just love this colour. I just love it. I think if you are considering getting one of these, if you want to test drive this particular car, this is a demonstrator at TC Harrison Peterborough, so I believe, so you can always give them a call. As I say, the link is going to be in the description of the video to TC Harrison's website. Feel free to check them out. So as I said earlier, this has been a bit of a hero car for me. So it's been great to get behind the wheel of one, and I can say that I haven't been disappointed. I know they do say not to drive your heroes because you can be disappointed, but that's not been the case. And I've been looking at these cars for the past few years since they arrived, and I've been wanting to get behind the wheel of a V8 ever since. And to have that opportunity today has been absolutely amazing. And I think it's just kind of cemented the enthusiasm I've got for Ford. I think what they're doing is great lately with their new fleet of performance cars. So anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm no professional reviewer, I'm just kind of a normal guy just trying to share my thoughts with you guys, and hopefully it makes it a little bit more kind of real for you. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to TC Harrison Ford and the guys in their marketing team there for lending me this car. If you want to see more videos, if you want to see me testing out more performance Fords, and really I do need thumbs up guys, please subscribe. The more subscribers and the more likes and views I get, the more I'm able to do, the kind of more equipment I'm able to kind of invest into the channel, and hopefully the more people I can approach to try and get test drives on cars. If you have any questions about this Mustang or any other performance Ford, please do feel free to drop them in the comments box, and I'll try my best to answer them. So yeah, thank you very much guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until the next video, which hopefully will be something else in the performance Ford range, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.